Welcome my viewers and subscribers on my channel PTE Pearson and IELTS. If you are visiting my channel for the first time, like, share and comment. Press the bell button after subscribing. In this video, we are going to discuss how naturally and clearly with the right pauses we have to read the read aloud so that we can gain more score, as this item contributes a maximum score for your reading as well as speaking. So here you should not try to read very slow or read very fast, because in this way, if you read very fast or very slow, you will lose maybe fluency or can be content, which contributes, fluency contributes mostly in speaking, and content covers maximum number in reading. So for that, I have divided this item into few chunks which you should try to read, where you can say like the chunk is of 4 to 6 words or maybe more than that, where you can get the idea like where you should take a pause. As you can see, here are some slashes where you should take a slight pause, but you have to maintain the fluency at the same time. So how you have to read this? For each and every item, you will be given 30 to 40 seconds that you should carefully use by reading some hard words and making the chunks, and just to pre-decide where you have to take small pauses and large pauses. So let's see this item, lenient parent. How you have to read this item, I will try to get you a clear idea, where you have to use your natural tone but you have to speak clearly at the same time. So let's see this one. Two sisters were at a dinner party. When the conversation turned to upbringing, the elder sister started to say that her parents had been very strict and that she had been rather frightened of them. Her sister, younger by 2 years, interrupted in amazement. "What are you talking about?" she said. "Our parents were very lenient." As you can see this, I have read it with not much effort, but there was a one mistake that I repeated the word. So you should try to avoid any repetition, because as you repeat any word, that will deduct your score and that will also affect your fluency. So without repeating any word, or without hesitation, or without any unnecessary pauses, you have to read it naturally and clearly as much as possible. So let's see the next item of it. And for each and every item, you will be given 30 to 40 seconds that you can utilize in reading the smaller text, which is of maybe 4 to 5 sentences. So next sentence is public demand. As you can see, here are some slashes, and in the middle of this item there are two slashes or double slash. There you have to take a little bit longer pause, but where there is only single slash, there you have to take a smaller pause. So let's have a reading of it. Public demand for education has retained strong reflecting and importance of education as a means of social progress. Aware of the added value of education to the world work, The government continues to innovate and update its education system in order to produce a qualified and competitive workforce. So you should try to read it, but it can be read faster by some students, but that is not going to give you any score, because if you are reading very fast, then the computer is unable to get what word and what are the pronunciation that you are making for a particular word. For example, if I read it very fast, the computer will give less score. I read it for you at a faster but not a natural speed, and you should not do this in your exam. Public demand for education has retained strong, reflecting an importance of education as a means of social progress. Aware of the added value of education to the world work, the governance continues to innovate and update its education system in order to produce a qualified and competitive workforce. If you are reading in this faster way, then the computer is not getting any particular word, and neither the computer is getting any kind of stress pattern, which is known as intonation, or we say that high pitch or low pitch, and in this way you will end up with less score. So you should try to speak with the clear and natural pause by making some chunks. So let's see the another item and how you have to read it. Let's see, try this one. But again, you should try to speak little faster. I say, or I suggest you to read it at least 10% faster than your natural voice. So how you can read this science competition? First, you have some time to look at this text, and after this we'll read at a natural speed but little bit faster, so that we can maintain the fluency here. So you can have a reading of it. Just few seconds for that. Well, so here this is again I would like to mention first before reading it for you that these are the most repeated items and you should practice before giving your exam, and in the upcoming videos we will also discuss some more such kind of read aloud, so that you can get the clear idea about how you have to read with the right chunk and with the right intonation, maintaining the fluency and clarity. So let's have a look of it, science competition. Okay, so how clearly you have to read it before going your writing exam? I want to mention this, that these are the most repeated items and mostly frequently asked from the candidates of PTE exam. So here how you have to speak this, like you can say, this year the National Environmental Science Competition received excellent undergraduate and postgraduate entries from all across the country with a wide range of projects. We are delighted, exciting, and valuable projects that go beyond research and analysis to develop solutions for a number of key problems. Information about the shortlisted projects will be posted on our website in the first week in June. So as you can see here, I have stuck somewhere, but whenever you have any kind of stuckness during your read aloud, you should try to stretch the word, but not to skip it or not to get a wrong pronunciation for that. So try to be more natural and clear. So let's see another item of it. and look at the text below again, and you must try to read the text it as loud, naturally and clearly as you can. So it's a constitutional protection. So first I read it for you at a faster speed. The founding fathers established constitutional protections for the press because they understood that leaving the watchdog function to partisan politicians won't necessarily serve the public interest. Both sides have too many incentives to preserve the status and ignore problems that elude quick fixes. So this is a little bit faster speed that I am saying, or I am suggesting you to maintain at least 10% faster than your natural speed. So here again we will see, but this time we will see with the high intonation and the right pauses. So how? Let's see. The founding fathers established constitutional protections for the press because they understood that leaving the watchdog functions to partisan politicians who won't necessarily serve the public interest. Both sides have too many incentives to preserve the status and ignore problems that elude quick fixes. So here again, as you can see, I have said that in the third line I said that watchdog functions, as I added s from my side, so there is a single plural mistake, but you should not do that. You should try to avoid these kind of mistakes so that you can get more score. But if anyhow you make any mistake during your read aloud, then you should not worry about it. Just you should not repeat that and continue your reading. Let's move to the next one, next item. Look at the text below again, and you must try to read it loudly by saying it naturally and clearly as possible. So again, this is a mostly or frequently asked item, and here we can say the first sentence is a little bit lengthier sentence and we have to read it with the flow. So for that we will read it like this. The semiconductor industry has been able to improve the performance of electric system for more than 4 decades by making ever smaller devices. However, this approach will soon encounter both scientific and technical limits, which is why the industry is exploring a number of alternative device technologies. So if you are reading like this clearly, without making any pause, without any making longer pause, or maybe any hesitation, or maybe using fillers, something, or without adding any word, definitely you will get higher score. This speed was just perfect speed to get you score for reading as well as for your speaking. So the last item I am going to show as an example here, which should be without any longer pause, any hesitation, any repetition, without making any mistake. You should try to read like this. So it's a Japanese tea and Buddhism. How you have to read this? Just say this one. The Japanese tea ceremony is a tour influenced by Buddhism, in which green tea is prepared and served to a small group of guests in a peaceful sitting. The ceremony can take as long as 4 hours, and there are many traditional gestures that both the server and the guest must perform. So in this way, you should try to read without making any mistake, as clearly and as naturally, but a little bit 10% faster than your natural tone. If you would like to see these videos in Hindi, you can also subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe PTE, Pearson and IELTS, like, share and comment, and press the bell icon as well.